Hey friends, welcome to Gardening with Creekside. Look who I have, none other than Janey herself.
No, when Jenny texted me and said, hey, do you want to do a video with me? My response was, yes!
It was. So we are at Cultivate, and Cultivate is the largest horticultural show in the United States.
Yeah.
And so we are in Columbus, Ohio. We like to come every year because it's so fun.
It's so much fun.
And we get to see friends.
I know.
And get connected.
It's like, I was telling my friend Robbie, it's like the biggest garden party. It's like all the plant nerds get together and get in this one building, and it's just like an absolute blast.
It is, and it's huge. Like there's tons of things going on, and in fact, one of the biggest plant nerds on the planet is here, and so I'm going to grab him. He doesn't even. So Jerry, you don't know what's going on. So just pivot real quick, because like I said, the biggest plant nerd of them all is here. None other than Mr.
Expect that, right?
No, I was here to get some brochures, so it's even a special treat to see you guys here and working together. Oh my gosh!
So he's just doing a cameo, so you can go. I know you have a very busy schedule, so that was just a little cameo from Mr. Marshall Dirks himself, who is, as I say, Mr. Proven Winners. He doesn't like that type.
Mr. Proven Winners, yes.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like that, is that you just kind of walk around, and then all of a sudden you'll see somebody walking down the road, and you're like, oh, that's Jim Putnam.
That's right.
Roxana, or
That's
something
right.
like that.
Exactly.
I love it. It's so fun.
So what we're going to do is, because Proven Winners has this huge booth here full of their main focus right in here is the annuals, because we've got Walters and we've got Spring Meadow and all those, but we just thought it would be fun to walk through because Janey is in California and you are Zone 9.
Zone 9,
and I'm
hot and dry.
Hot and dry, and I'm North Carolina, Zone 8, hot and humid. Hot and wet. So I thought it would just be fun to walk through. Let's talk about them and then kind of compare notes, because it's like East Coast, West Coast.
Love it.
And see how everything does. So at any point, just go like, let's go here. All right.
Yeah.
So come on in. So we're gonna let's just kind of go in the order. So Janey was talking about that you love Mangaves.
So these I'm super excited for this year. These are my Mangaves, which is a mix between an agave and a Manfreda, which is like, what did I just say? I just said a bunch of gibberish. But actually they're just as drought tolerant and heat tolerant as agaves, but they're prettier for a Manfreda. Manfreda usually has more interesting color than agave, and they grow faster. And I can tell you that because this Catch a Wave one, I have these in my hanging baskets at home, and they are massive and they are absolutely beautiful. So I'm having a lot of fun with these really interesting architectural plants. I never thought I'd be into this because I'm a Bloom, SuperTunia, Supervina girl.
Yeah.
But these are actually really fun and really exciting. Have you grown these?
Yes, so I have, and so we have quite a bit of experience with them as well. And so that's what's so cool, is where they thrive in your heat and with even being dry, but the more water you give them, the happier they are. Yeah. And so in North Carolina, they thrive.
Really?
Yes.
Oh,
now,
so
a lot of times they're not going to come back unless you bring them in because of our winters are a little bit too cold. However, Bad Hair Day, which I love. Bad Hair Day, we've got a couple of these right here. This one did survive our winter, and so that's really fun. And then one of my favorites right now is the Lavender Lady.
Oh, I haven't tried that one.
So it's really cool. So when it's outside and gets the UV light, it's more of a purple color.
Fun.
Hence the name.
Fun.
So they are a lot of fun, but that's one of those plants that will work for both of us, but very different.
Yeah, so if you all live in hot climates, doesn't matter. Sometimes you have to pay attention to whether it's a humid loving plant or it's a dry weather loving plant, which I'm sure you run into a lot. I run into all the time. Yeah. But things like this that just don't matter is just fantastic.
Yes.
I have to point out this one right here. This is Night Owl.
Yeah.
This one I'm growing, and this one, you know when you decorate in the fall with the ornamental cabbages and stuff like that? When you grow this outside in your landscape, it's almost like an ornamental cabbage.
That
it
is
has
so cool.
that look to it, right? I mean, this one's absolutely massive and huge, but the ones I have in my garden almost look like those ornamental cabbages.
That is so cool.
And it's just, it's like in the middle of summer, I have an ornamental cabbage right there.
I love it. Now, this is one that we are very excited about. So this is a whole new line. This is the Star Divas, which are a type of Scaevolas. And Scaevolas work really well for us in the heat.
Yeah.
And they are just, let Jerry see that. I mean, they are absolutely covered in flowers.
Yes.
Because do you do Scaevolas?
All the time.
Okay.
I love, the hotter it gets, the better these do.
Yes. Yes. Yeah.
And these are so fun because usually the fan flowers are all off to one side.
Yeah.
These are so different because it's like, that's why it's called Star Diva, right? Which is a great name.
And I love how compact they are. So they're tight, they're compact, because sometimes for us, Scaevolas will get a little leggy.
Oh, yeah.
And then they get thin as far as like the flower power on them. But like this is truly what it looks like in our landscape at the nursery.
Fun.
Yeah. So
I love that you guys grow all this stuff from little baby plants.
Yes.
I just love
so
it.
Proven Winners, they send us, because we are a grower retailer, so they send us these as liners. So we get to grow them out to see how do they grow in a greenhouse, right?
Yeah.
For production purposes.
Yeah.
And so much fun.
That's like major behind the scenes.
Yeah. That's fun. Now, did you get dahlias?
Yes.
Now, which ones did you do?
So I
Which
did
colors?
the yellow.
Yep.
And I did the pinkerific.
Yes.
And then I did the vibrant violet.
Yes. So I have the same ones minus the purple, the violet.
Oh.
Yeah.
That's
but this
best one.
Well, yeah. Of course.
That's the best one.
But it's gorgeous. Yeah,
Plant that one next year,
it is so tight. Yeah, and so that's the thing is like, dahlias do great for us.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I have these in 3 like water troughs, stock tank troughs, and I have the yellow one and the pink one and the violet one. And the yellow and the pink one are doing absolutely beautiful. But the violet one, for me at least, it's like, boom, it is just really filled out. It's so thick and compact, and it's just the most beautiful dahlia.
Do you worry about powdery mildew?
Not really.
Because you're so dry.
I really don't worry about it.
Good.
Yeah,
Good.
it doesn't bother me at all. And we actually spray our plants with water because it's so dry. We need to give them something to keep the spider mites and stuff away.
Yeah. So the reason I was asking is because we grew a different line of dahlias, and we were battling the powdery mildew.
Oh no.
These guys, nothing. So it was very encouraging to see that how resistant they are, and we've never had any kind of issue with these guys with powdery mildew.
How fun.
Yeah, that's great.
Fun.
Now, okay, we're gonna bop over here real quick because the Angelonia, we're gonna go this way.
Oh, okay.
No, sorry.
I'm coming over here to the heliotrope.
I know. Well, we can do that too. But the Angelonia, so we have done a lot of Angelonia this year, like in our backyard.
Oh, yeah?
Because it's so heat tolerant, right?
Oh, yeah.
And so it is thriving. And we love all of these. Like they have just exploded.
This pink, this Wedgwood, because they have
Yes.
Wedgwood blue, right?
Yes.
And that's kind of like the same type of faded color to white. But now with the pink one, oh, it's so fun.
Yeah.
I haven't tried these yet, so I'm really excited
You're
to
going
try
to
them.
love them because with the heat, they just thrive in the heat. Not necessarily drought tolerant, right? But the heat, and they just explode. In fact, right before I left, I had to come through and give mine a haircut.
No.
I did. I gave everybody
Isn't
a
that
haircut.
so hard to do?
I don't know. See, I'm a tough love kind of girl,
you?
and I was just like, I know this is what's best for you, and I'm just cutting on it. So when we get home, they'll
I
already
haven't even cut back any of mine yet because I can't bring myself to cut off the blooms, which
Oh,
is like,
yeah.
I know,
Yeah,
I'm smarter
yeah.
than this, but
No.
it's hard for
It
me.
is, and in the beginning, I think it's hard too, but I think from the production side of it, we know that when you cut them back, the plants are so much happier.
It's so much better. All of mine right now are like, they need a little TLC.
A little TLC.
Which
Okay.
is my plan to get when I get home.
Let's talk about this heliotropium. So this is the most gorgeous plant.
I know. This reminds me of the South. This is kind of what I think is just like, this would be lining the streets or something like that. But I love heliotrope. It's absolutely beautiful. And this one is so good. It is so good.
Gorgeous. I mean, the flower power on this is gorgeous. And I love that this plant is what we call like bury the dead, right? So as far as, have you ever heard that term?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. You looked at me like I was crazy. So it's a look I get often.
That's just normal, Jenny.
No. But so this is that older bloom, right? But then look at all that new growth popping up. And so it, quote, buries the dead, and you don't have to worry about coming in here and deadheading like we were talking about.
I love it.
But this is the Era Magica purple. So there you go.
Very,
And
very pretty.
I mean, very, very impressive.
Have you grown any of the bulbs?
No, I have not. Have you?
So yes, yeah. So they are starting Proven Winners is starting a whole line of bulbs, and they're actually, you know, right now, right here, they're showing them individually, but they will actually sell them in packages where they've kind of coordinated, like when you buy a hanging basket and it's already been
like a
coordinated.
recipe.
Exactly.
Yep.
And so I've planted in some, I planted some recipes. I have Trooper Dan. I know I have. There's a lot of glads that were in my recipes,
Oh,
and they're
fun.
so beautiful. And I planted them all next to
Nice.
each other, and they're all coming up, and it looks like I'm like really good at gardening because they're just all coordinated and they're absolutely beautiful.
Oh, that is
yeah.
fun.
So
That
I think
is
this
fun.
is a really fun thing for Proven Winners to do. I think it's just going to be really, really fun to play with.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Okay, let's move on to some more new intros and the recipes. So did you do any of the recipes?
I didn't do any of the recipes this year.
Yeah, no,
But I
me neither.
love this one.
Yes.
This I think is definitely going to be happening next year.
Yeah, so this is Vista View. So it's got, of course, the bubblegum, the jazzberry, snowdrift.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then the new alocasia, the emerald isle.
Yeah. So all three vistas, all three super, super vigorous. You only need like one plant of
Yes,
each, and it's
yes.
going to absolutely take over.
Yes.
Like there's a special place in my heart for these vistas,
Yes,
you know?
yeah.
So,
Well, these are the showstoppers, and to
Yes.
me, this is like the industry standard in a petunia. Like
Yep.
you cannot beat these.
you cannot beat these.
No.
And you know I love pink. So
Yeah.
it's like, how can you not love this? It's
Love it.
absolutely beautiful.
Yeah.
So
Love
did you
them.
plant this recipe?
So I don't have the recipe, so we kind of did them all individually. So at the front of the signature garden, it's just this massive display of the jazzberry, which is spectacular.
Gorgeous.
And then we use snowdrift a lot in the back. This year we didn't do a lot of bubblegum, but we did, the jazzberry and the snowdrift
How fun.
en masse, lots
Have
of places.
you seen the champagne toast recipe?
I have not.
Oh my gosh, let me show
So
you.
Janey has, because you got here early.
I
and
got here yesterday because of from coming from California, and
So
I've been
she- yeah.
all around checking these recipes out, and they're beautiful. So this one right here is more of a shade recipe. It's called champagne toast, and so the first thing that I love about it is the different foliage colors.
Yep.
I just am super, super drawn to that. I think that that's so interesting, especially where I live. It's so dry. We need to have some green
Yep.
to kind of cool everything down a little bit. So starting with the hanging plant, this is Dichondra Silver Falls, which I absolutely love.
Yep, it's a great one.
This one is so interesting. This is the Sweet Caroline Medusa. This has the most interesting, what do you call this? When it's
So-
like that fenestrations?
Yeah, so I just call it, it's just like a serrated leaf.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
so
this
beautiful.
is it's just a huge trailing, and it is
Yeah.
gorgeous. So we would grow these sometimes in hanging baskets.
Oh, fun.
Yeah.
Oh, fun.
Yep.
And then you can't really see them. They're not very big in here, but they have these begonias in here that are absolutely beautiful. So this is kind of a newer planting, but these begonias are going to get a little bit bigger so that it'll have more pink, and it'll bring just a little bit of color
Yep.
to a more shady area in your
Yep.
garden.
Yes.
We have what we call California rooms, which
Oh, okay.
are outdoor. They're basically 3 walls covered, and you have dinners out there and stuff
Yeah.
like that. And so I'm planning to put these in my California room.
Oh, fun.
know, I'm really
That is
excited.
awesome.
Super
yeah.
excited.
So that's a great thing, and that's what we talk about a lot is, yes, you've got the begonia in here, but you don't necessarily have to have flowers to have a really cool, interesting
Yes.
container. And so I think this is a great example
Do you
of
find
that.
when people come to the nursery that they are just drawn to the SuperTunias first?
They are because it's the color, and we all love that color, and we all want to go to that color.
Yeah.
But then I also have people that are brand new gardeners,
Yeah.
and they feel very intimidated by the flowers and maintaining the flowers.
Oh, yeah.
And so they're like, what is easy?
Yeah.
Give me something that I really can't kill, that's super easy. So this would be that container.
Piece of cake.
Piece of cake.
Yeah.
You've got the Silver Falls, you've got the sweet potato, you've got the Emerald Isle. All of that together, the begonia.
And they're going to be proud of themselves too.
Yes.
Proud of themselves.
Absolutely, for sure.
Did we talk about tiaras yet? No.
No.
Okay.
No. And that's a perfect segue because they are right here, and
Oh,
dear heavens.
my goodness. This.
I'm thinking the pink might be your favorite.
Yes. Well, for one thing, I've planted both.
Yeah.
And the pink is, I mean, you can see the vigor. The vigor
Yes.
with this versus the blue. The blue is absolutely stunning.
It is.
So beautiful. You can see it from across the yard. But the vigor of the pink, it just, I mean, I don't think it's definitely not as vigorous as bubblegum, but it's kind of close. It's getting there, and it's so beautiful, and I just get so excited about new introductions. And this is a SuperTunia that I just haven't seen. I just haven't seen this before.
No, and I think that this is going to be a huge one. I think people are going to go nuts over this because it's brighter than the bubblegum, but it's not a jazzberry. It's just that kind of that very interesting, and then of course that white eye, that ombre effect is just, it is gorgeous.
So I have a spiral topiary, and I underplanted the spiral topiary with the pink, tiara pink, and it's growing up the topiary. And it looks so beautiful, Jenny.
Oh my gosh.
So exciting. So I absolutely am growing a ton of these next year.
That is gorgeous.
And then the Bermuda Beach.
Yes.
This got improved this year, which I love this color too.
Yes.
And I'm so happy that they chose to improve that, which is something that Proven Winners does.
Yes,
right?
absolutely.
It's constantly improving their genetics, constantly making every plant better and better and better. And this year they decided to improve the SuperTunia Bermuda Beach, and it's
spectacular.
It's spectacular.
We have this one in the signature garden in the landscape, and it is beautiful. And then for the first time this year, we did just a mono basket of Bermuda Beach, and that thing sold like crazy.
Did it?
You would see it because you see it from a distance, and they're like, "What is that?" And it is so tight and compact. It is a great one. And then the bloom size on that thing is just huge.
I know. It is
absolutely
huge. Beautiful.
Yes.
So pretty. So really, really fun new introductions this year for the SuperTunias.
Yes. Now, let's come down here because down here we have a whole new line of salvias.
Oh yeah. There's so much to talk about.
It's like, but wait, there's more. So these are the new salvias, and oh my gosh, these are great. So not only a new salvias, but we've also got the new Coleus, which I'm loving. The new
the color.
Yes.
So the salvias are unplugged, and they have unplugged blue and unplugged pink, right?
Yes.
And they're beautiful. They're absolutely beautiful salvias. Salvias you absolutely cannot beat for the heat.
Yeah.
But the unplugged red. So we have been having triple digit temperatures, and when I say triple digit, I'm talking like 115.
Oh my word.
For like days on end. Everything's kind of like,
tired.
The unplugged red is like, oh hey,
how y'all doing?
I got this. No problem. I can handle this. So those of you in Arizona, those of you in Texas, those of you in the desert areas of California, the unplugged red is incredible.
And I love the color because there's not a salvia like in the Proven Winner line of this color, like with this bright red, that hot red. And then of course the pollinators are going nuts over these plants. The hummingbirds love that thing and just go crazy over it. And then if you want to go cool, you want to do that moon garden, then of course you've got that unplugged white. So that's a great option as well. And then this is the new Coleus. So this is the Mini-Me Chartreuse. So we know Mini-Me watermelon, right? Which was one of Jerry's absolute favorites.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, he
I
loved
love that.
watermelon. But then you have the Chartreuse, which is just so cute. And you have so many different options that you can use that, whether it's a landscape, a container, hay racks, it does not matter.
And like you were saying, beginner gardeners, Coleus,
that's where we always go.
You got it. You absolutely got it.
You do. And then over here on this side, we have the Cupheas. So we have a whole new line, the Totally Tempted.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you right now, this is the Frosted Violets. Beautiful and like huge attractor. So when I have these predominantly planted in the backyard on our deck boxes. And so when we had our signature experience and the guests were just like, what is that thing? We want that. Yeah. And so I paired it in that box with the Frosted Violets, the Angel Face White, Pink Cashmere, Saffron Finch, like all those colors, the dahlias, the pink dahlias, all that.
Do you know how much FOMO I have about your signature event?
Come on.
Literally like, so when is it happening next year?
That's right. That's right, yes.
Oh, I happen to be in town, Jenny. It looked like so much fun.
We did. We had a great time. But it was really cool that our guests could come and like see these plants up close and personal and touching them.
It's different when you see it up
It
close.
is very different because really what our folks know a lot is the Cuphea, of course, Vermillionaire. And this is completely different than Vermillionaire, but you grow it the same.
Yes.
And it behaves the same.
Do hummingbirds love this as much as they love the Vermillionaire?
I would not say as much.
Okay.
No, it's really hard to beat Vermillionaire with your hummingbirds.
I know.
I mean, they just go nuts. But I will say the butterflies, I have noticed the butterflies coming to this a lot.
Yeah.
And so I think it's just that open bloom on it. So they come, and then of course there is the frosted violets. Then there's watermelon wine,
which I love.
Yeah.
I think that's so beautiful.
Yeah, which is just, it's a nice, it's still the red, but when you were to put like the salvia, in fact, Jerry, you just stay right there. So if you put the salvia next to the Cuphea, right, to see the absolute difference in color, because I think sometimes that's hard. Even when we were growing them this spring, I was like, who is who? Like, you know, and so, but to see them side by side.
Yeah.
And it really comes down to like your color palette.
I know. Are you going with a cooler? Are you going with a warmer?
Right.
Yeah. It's so fun.
Yeah, it is great. And then of course there's the vivid violet, which I did not get the vivid violet. So
I didn't either.
Yeah.
Yep.
So,
I didn't either.
But
I didn't get richly red either, and I'm looking at it like, ooh, that's interesting.
Yeah. I mean, just gorgeous.
Yeah. So Jenny and I, the year before, we usually get some to try these out to see how they do in their gardens, which is really, really fun.
Yeah.
But then we come here and we see all like, oh wait, I didn't get that one. Oh, I didn't get that one.
I know, it's like, wait a minute, you mean there's more on the line and we didn't get that? It's like, who do we need to talk to at Proven Winners? It's like,
Marshall, the guy that was here
me. I did not get the violet dahlia. I mean, come on now. But let's see, you want to hit Leaf Joy?
Oh, sure.
Yeah. So do you do houseplants?
So my absolute favorite is the Klingon. This is the Klingons, right? The Klingons. No, where's the Klingons? So
who knows?
They have a Klingon ficus, which maybe you guys can put up a picture or something like that.
Yes, sure.
But basically it's a ficus benjamina, and I love them because my mom used to always have the benjaminas, and they would drop their leaves all the time. All the time. And I just remember that was one of my jobs as a little kid, was go pick up the tree leaves in the living room, right?
Yeah.
And this one is specially bred to not drop its leaves, which is I just love it.
Yes.
So that's the ones that I have in my home, because it's just such good genetics. It's just such a good house.
Well, right, and so we have the ficus too, also, and it's actually in our bedroom. And you're right, there is no leaf drop.
There's nothing.
No,
yeah, it's fantastic.
And if it is a leaf drop, it's because Jenny didn't water it in the last 3 months. Which, you know, they do need water.
Jenny was outside.
But these are gorgeous. And so, you know, houseplants are huge and just so popular because a lot of people, you know, they love bringing the outdoors in.
I know. And it's something for us to do in the winter when we can't be outside very much.
It is. And I love too, like on the tag. So I am not by nature a houseplant girl. Like I'm not. I'm just an outdoor girl. So I joke that I've killed more houseplants than I have like plants out in the garden.
Yeah.
But what helps is on the tags, they tell you like the conditions and like what categories they're in. So they tell you, does it need, you know, the humid? Is it low light, high light? You know, what kind of room? It's great in the bathroom, it's great in the office, you know, it doesn't matter. And so they really kind of like take the guesswork out of where do you put them? Because that's my thing, is like, I don't know where my house to put them.
I have no idea. And then I'll ask houseplant nerds, right? You know, and they're like, oh, well, take your light meter and go here. And I'm like, I don't have a light meter.
Yeah.
So that's what's so fantastic about the Leaf Joy, is that you don't have to be an expert at houseplants.
No.
Right? Because you're right, I'm an outdoor girly too.
Yeah.
You do not have to be an expert. We have somebody else to introduce you to.
Oh, we have a second cameo. Come on in here. Hello, it's so good to see you. I didn't know you were going to be here.
Hi there.
So we have Jack Barnwell,
the one, the
I
only.
I haven't had my coffee yet.
Creator of the Aquapots, which is absolutely fantastic for those of us in California. You have changed everything, because we get so dry, like you can't water enough. And so we water in the morning, and then by the end of the day, the plants need more water. And so when you use an aquapot, the water's there. It's sitting underneath the plants, and the plants can always take it up through their root systems whenever they need it.
Yep.
So these plants, when we have, like I was saying, days on end of triple digits, you can still water your plant, but the aquapots just keep them alive, honestly. Is what it is.
It's like having a Whole Foods in your backyard.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of handy.
It's very handy.
You know?
Yeah, whether you're in California or North Carolina, it's great.
It's plant heaven, yeah.
Yeah, it is.
So the plants
It is.
can have access to that water instead of going, really dry, and then the leaves get all droopy and stressed, and you're like, oh no, I need to water my plants. And so instead of going like this, they're just a lot
even.
more consistently happy.
Yeah, so much fun. And you're coming out, are you telling people about the new sizes?
I guess now.
I'm
Thanks.
sorry.
No, yes.
I'm really excited about it.
We're officially launching new sizes, 3 new sizes.
So that's one of the
today.
things that, I get asked a lot is, do the inserts come in bigger sizes or smaller sizes? And it's like, talk to Jack.
Yes.
So
now you're hearing it here first, for the first time ever.
Congratulations.
Yeah,
That's
thank
super
you.
exciting.
Thanks, Jack. It's good to see you. Yeah, absolutely. So it is, so you never know who you're going to run into here at Cultivate. It's very
and
fun.
It's like 7:30 in the morning.
I know. We need to go get that other cup of coffee. You need to finish your first cup.
I know. It was too hot for me to drink, and I was like, I'm trying to finish it before the video.
Yes.
So
awesome. So I think they're getting ready to open up the show, and I think we've pretty much hit everything.
I think we did good.
I think we did very good.
It's so fun to talk about the plants with you.
Oh,
because it's just like having a really great conversation with another plant friend. I wish you lived closer to me. It'd be so fun. But
I think it speaks to like just massive amounts of the breeding that goes into these plants that you in California, hot, dry, me in North Carolina, hot, not as hot, but extremely humid.
Yes.
And where they will perform, it doesn't matter, West Coast, East Coast, and they're still performing great.
And we can go through and say, oh yeah, I love that one.
Yeah.
Oh, I love that one, which is just so much fun.
It is, absolutely.
Makes our jobs easy.
It does.
And piece of cake.
Thank you for joining me.
Thank you
it
for
was
having me.
so
It
much
was
fun.
so much
Absolutely. All right, my friends, as always, we hope you have found this fun, informative, and inspirational. Y'all have an amazing day. We'll see you in the next video. Bye, friends.